All right, season-ending podcast, and we will alert the comment section. We are live from my mom's basement.
Nice.
Gentlemen, good to be back in Ohio.
Always fun to have you back, buddy.
We're celebrating the end of the Browns season here, and what is at stake this weekend? Drew, what is at stake?
There's a lot. There's a lot at stake here, fam. We are in desperate need of a clutch loss, one that I think we will have no problem securing. Currently, the Browns are 17.5-point dogs in Baltimore against a team with a lot to play for. So that should be no problem. And then we're big fans of a Bills benching their starters so that the Patriots can bring home a victory in New England. And we're also big fans of the Texans also benching their starters so that the Titans can bring home a victory. Now, if both of those things happen, it might be just a little late Christmas miracle or an early New Year's present for all of us, because that would secure the number one overall pick. But so long as one of those things happens, the Browns will be in line to finally mercifully end the Deshaun Watson era decisively by selecting one of two good to very good quarterback prospects. The more I look into it, the more I like the idea of the Browns finishing April with either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I have my preference, which we'll get into in a little bit. But that is what we're looking forward to besides the merciful end of this miserable season.
So going into the last week, well, I think we're ranked number 5
Yes.
In the draft,
Yep.
the rankings that matter here for us right now. Great weekend this past weekend, moving
Finally.
up to 3. And yeah, what a surprise this would be if we actually end up with the number 1 pick, which is a bit of a surprise. Eric, we were talking a little bit before this of, man, what do the Browns do at 1? We would finally have that opportunity to get the quarterback, get Shedeur Sanders, but maybe that's not what we want.
That's what I think most want.
Most would be correct, Eric. Most would be correct.
I'm not most, and let me tell you why. I feel like he's a very good quarterback, but I feel like the hype train on him is getting a little out of control. He's Deion's son. He's very, plays well, but I honestly haven't been impressed with him. He's not the Joe Burrow. He's not the Andrew Luck. He's not the game changer guy that I sit down and watch and see him make plays all over the field. They also have a tremendous wide receiver that he was throwing to, a la Mike Evans to Johnny Manziel. I'm not calling him Johnny Manziel. I'm just saying. But no, I mean, I think
CJ Stroud's a real bum. He had those excellent wide receivers to throw to. That dude straight up sucks.
But he also lit up Georgia, and I haven't seen Shedeur Sanders light up anybody. I mean, maybe Colorado State. Wow, that was incredible. So did Miami of Ohio, by the way. But anyways, so I mean, I think you could do worse than Shedeur Sanders. But I think he could do better. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think he's my top quarterback. But if the Browns want to take him number 1, I guess I'd be okay with it. It just wouldn't be my choice.
Man, things have changed. And shout out to Miami University and the
Duck
Snoop
over
Dogg
right
Bowl
over
there.
Right over there.
Huge win. Huge win for Miami. Congrats. But man, so Drew, let's go through some of those scenarios. 3 and 1. 3, I don't know if anything changes with some of our offensive line predictions. We would still go offensive line if we're at 3. And then 1, yeah, I don't know. Do you disagree with Eric?
I disagree with both those things. If the Browns are stuck at 3, it's certainly worth calling New England. They're not going to take a quarterback. They would be open to trading, and they might be open to moving down a single spot. I think that's worth a call to end this Deshaun Watson disaster and give the team some hope at the most important position. But sure, let's go under the idea that the Browns are at 3 and that somebody makes a massive trade that they're not willing or able to do, and both those quarterbacks are gone. I would hate one of these offensive tackles at 3. Just being honest, we talked about this on a previous podcast, but the offensive tackle group it's not a strength of this draft. Not because there's not talent, but because there's no top end bona fide stud there at the top. I'm going to count that as one certified G and a bona fide stud. You can't teach that. There you go. There's one.
I was thinking John Stud.
That works too. There you go. You got 2. But I would not take an offensive tackle at 3. If there's somebody that they really like and they can trade down, I think that's probably a tall ask because there's no quarterback to trade up to in this scenario. But that would be something I would explore. You can get a good starting offensive tackle in that 10 to 15 range and be perfectly happy with that. If you're stuck at 3 and both the quarterbacks go 1 and 2, I would take for whatever reason the guy Eric thinks that Shedeur Sanders is not worth drafting. I would take that superstar. I would take the Heisman Trophy winner. Let him play cornerback. Let him play wide receiver. And, I think that would be an excellent pick. If they don't go that route, there are 2 excellent defensive linemen from Penn State and from Michigan that would be better selections. I think they are better talents than any offensive tackle. But if you are looking at quarterbacks, I like both of these quarterbacks, honestly. I think they both do some excellent things. There's a lot of poise in the pocket. They throw with excellent accuracy. They both have really good arm talent. And they have a lot of experience playing college football for multiple programs. That's been one of the biggest indicators of early success and of long-term success. It's not true of everyone, but when you have 3 years starting experience in college, you have that ability to manipulate the pocket, and you tend not to just bail out when things aren't going your way. And both of those quarterbacks, both of those prospects have shown great ability at that. I will give Browns fans one other little tidbit here on Shedeur Sanders. His offensive coordinator at Colorado, a guy by the name of Pat Shurmur. We all know him, one of the worst coaches the Browns have ever had. He has just brutally limited that offense the same way he limited everything he touched throughout his entire career. That's not me trying to hate, that's just facts. He has overcome an offensive coordinator who has made absolutely no attempts to help with sliding protections to different freshmen that are starting in front of him. He has had to deal with some difficult situations, and he's had to live up to the expectations of being the son of prime time. And I think he has done all that and more. I think he will be an excellent selection at either 1 or 2, and I hope he ends up in orange and brown.
All right, Eric, finally, last question here. Browns number 1 pick. You're not taking Shedeur Sanders. Who are you taking?
I would take Cam Ward. Shedeur, I'll give you this. If he comes here, Ken Dorsey's not staying because he is the Ken Dorsey of college. But anyways, no, I like Cam Ward. And especially if the Browns draft 2nd or 3rd, I like him, quote unquote, falling because of the not playing in the second half. And a lot of people, Tom McShay included, that were pretty critical of him. And there are a lot of quarterbacks that did not play because they were not in the playoffs. So I would not necessarily write them off the board for that. Obviously, it goes back to the personality, what type of individual they are on and off the field. But I think he's won at every level. He's risen programs, Incarnate Word, Washington State, Miami. He's done well all 3 places. Obviously, Shedeur has as well, but I think he had the 2-year run. And I think Cam Ward's had at least 3 right there. So I really like that he can, make the plays. He can use his legs. He can, fire out to new guys every single year and keep it consistent. So obviously it would come down to, can we give him the right system? Can we give him the right coaching? And can he, excel at a reasonable level? So that's my guy right now. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. But here's hoping that we get somebody who can carry us to the promised land, or at least to the beyond the second round of the playoffs, which we have not seen since we were very, very little kids.
Sadly, worst case scenarios if we lose or if we win this Saturday against the Ravens, 17.5-point underdogs in that game. Get one of those top 3 picks. I think there's lots of great scenarios in that top 3. Even Travis Hunter, even if those top 2 teams trade away their picks, someone jumps in to get those quarterbacks, could still get Travis Hunter. And we'll have the quarterback who's renegotiated his contract coming back for us next year.
Oh my God, dude! We can't end on that.
All right, we'll be watching this Saturday as the Browns lose, hopefully.
The tank.
Yes.